Andy Gresh, part of our New England Nation team, here to break down Patriots Saints. Chatter already about the Bucs game, but this Pats team cannot overlook the Saints.
No, I don't think they will.
They?
Well, they're not that good.
Okay.
I mean, and I know they beat Green Bay week 1, and everybody more kind of overreacted, where it was like, oh my God, maybe the Saints aren't that bad. Jameis Winston stinks. Yeah. And if he isn't managed the way Sean Payton has to manage him, which is to make sure he doesn't take those shots down the field, the guy will throw it into the middle of a team meeting, as Julian Edelman is noted of saying. So I think they're well coached. You know, their former special teams coach, Darren Rizzi, was one of my college teammates. He's one of the best special teams guys in all the land. You look up the numbers, his crew is really good. That's maybe where they're kind of even with the Patriots, but defensively they're dinged up. Offensively, their QB is not very good, and they got one weapon in Alvin Kamara.
Sure. Patriots defense has never had 4 interceptions in back-to-back games, ever. Franchise history. A guy like Jameis Winston can give you 4, as you just mentioned. What are the chances that that could happen, or we could see full Jameis Winston on display?
I think if you take the running game away, and again, it's really Alvin Kamara, and I don't think their offensive line is all that great. They're very much up and down in 2 weeks. But that said, if Kamara gets going, then maybe they start doing play action, trying to take shots, and that's where you get some. Or if the Patriots take that run game away and you make it all about Jameis Winston, yahoo, it'll end up being an easy victory. And I would say the turnover ratio would be heavily weighted towards the Patriots because it's just the history of that particular player.
Now, you talk about Kamara and a lot of the offensive pieces that the Saints have. Adrian Phillips described it in one word and said variety. Sean Payton can really draw it up, one of the best offensive minds in football. How could they attack the Patriots defense in a worst case possible scenario?
Well, right now you run against them because to this point they've been ineffective in consistently stopping the run. So I think if the Jets had kept running the ball, that score might have been a little tighter instead of having the kid flinging it all over the lot. So again, it goes back to Kamara and them being able to run the ball, and then Payton can get creative. Like, I'm not scared of Taysom Hill. It's great he got a big contract, and bully for him. I'm a capitalist. I love it. However, he ain't worth $140 million and doesn't bring that kind of value to this team. So offensively, it's really Alvin Kamara, and then you're turning it to Jameis Winston and hoping that he can manage the game. I do expect, Morey, that Sean Payton might try to slow the game down a little bit, really condense the possessions, and put pressure on the young quarterback in Mac Jones to score touchdowns.
Speaking of Mac, we're now through 2 weeks of him. What improvements do you expect come week 3, and how much does it hinge on the offensive line?
I think he's going to get better in play action, and it's very much on the offensive line. You know, coming up at New England Nation, we're going to take a look at how early in the game, Josh McDaniels had to have lost confidence in his offensive line, and everybody wants Mac to throw the ball down the field, but he's going to get killed with the way these tackles are playing right now. So you can't even do a 7-step drop. Even out of the shotgun, you can't wait that long to be able to get guys down the field because of this O-line. They got to get Trent Brown back. However, I don't think he's playing until Tampa. I think Belichick and crew are going to manage this at right tackle. Bill even said this week, I think we're okay. All right, that lets me know Trent Brown, at least I think, is playing next week.
All right, the last time the Saints were in town, October 13th, 2013, big day for Boston sports, was this David Ortiz grand slam and the Kembrell Tompkins touchdown catch there late in the game. Your memories from that game?
Yeah, it was crazy because it was so unexpected, and it's Kembrell Tompkins. It's like, what? Who the hell is this guy? You know, one of these undrafted dudes that Bill Belichick found off the scrap heap. And yeah, I think that was almost like the Kembrell Tompkins coming out party, just like the Jonas Gray coming out party. And then in like 2 years, they're both out of here, and nobody knows where in the world they went. So I think that's what was the big surprise for me, is that it was this guy out of nowhere who scored that touchdown. And you mentioned the big Ortiz moment. You know, it's funny. There have been a couple in Gillette Stadium. You know, the one year I think they blew out the Titans. There was something going on that day. There was another playoff game where they were showing the Red Sox highlights and the Patriots are getting beat. So, like, I think it was like Teddy Bruschi or somebody afterwards was like squawking about it. There have been those interesting moments and those kind of days in New England sports.
Yeah, and we could have them coming up in a couple weeks. The Red Sox are continuing to be hot and push toward a playoff spot. All right, that's Andy Gresh breaking down Patriots and Saints coming up Sunday, 1 o'clock, Fox Providence. We'll be right back here on the Sports Wrap.